Boom, baby. A little Black Sabbath. Oh, yes, a little Aussie on the six strings here. How y'all doing today? Happy Friday to you, wherever you are at, and thank you for tuning in. It is a beautiful day here in our reality. Planet Earth, I guess it's beautiful. It's still blue. Anyway, so what's up, folks? Hey, I just speak favor over all of us. Nothing missing, nothing broken. We are prospering abundantly. I'm prospering. You're prospering. We're prospering together. We got the angels. I mean, we got like Ariel. We got Poel. Poel's well, they're all great, but yeah. So what's happening, folks? Let's see. So David Castle, how you doing? Hello, Martin and Heidi. And speaking of you two, hello to Rufus and Tony. The dogs are listening too. I mean, come on. So good to see everyone. Deborah Truax, much love to you, dear. Paul from Newcastle, how you doing? A little bit abstract. Yes, indeed. Jules, what's up? Who else is all here? Jill, good to see you. Paula, Iberian girl, saw you earlier. I hadn't seen you before, but welcome. This is a great place. Ronnie, what's up? So good to have everybody here. It's a Friday. Really was digging that. I mean, you go back to a time, and in my life, I have had the adventure of all times. I mean, I've loved it. Was like, I think I was 16, about to go on 17. I had my own apartment. And back in those days, you know, if you had stereo equipment, I mean, that was pretty top shelf. And I did. I had a beautiful Techniques, which was a decent brand. Anyway, the point is, I always remember that album, Machine Head by Deep Purple. Played it a lot. Good memories. And then Ozzy Osbourne and Black Sabbath. We knew him just as Black Sabbath. I think that was the third concert I'd ever saw. Yeah, that was right. I had saw Cactus and Grand Funk Railroad. Yeah, that was back in the days when Mark Farmer, before he got his conversion, went off to Christianity and then ended up coming back. It's full circle anyway. Gotta love the memories, man. I mean, youth. If you can keep that alive within you, where you can just transpose yourself from, that little girl to, the teenage guy, it's all up here, man. Hey, Big Al, what's happening? First album was Deep Purple, Machine Head. There you go. Great album. I mean, come on, Space Truckin' and Smoke on the Water. If you don't know, if you haven't ever heard it, go listen to it. But those who have, it's an interesting story because they wrote that story. They were, as the song goes, I believe they were where Frank Zappa, the Rolling Stones, they were staying there. Anyway, there was the hotel and the casino, and some idiot lit off fireworks or something and burned the place down. And that's where the song comes. Smoke on the Water, because it was literally, the smoke was on the lake. Anyway, I digress. Xander, what's up? So good. Linda, good to see you, my dear. Always a pleasure. Scotty boy, what's doing? Who else is in here? Thanks for hitting the like button. It works. Thanks for listening to the show last night. Changes. My wife and I, we had to go out and do business this morning. And Constant, what's up? That's when the music was real. You got that right, sister. It's a fact, Jack. Hands down. And then I read this morning in the New York Times, some idiots, this cancel culture, I don't get it. But anyway, says, well, we got to go back and we got to get rid of some of the old rock and roll songs. To hell, you say? Why, you ain't old enough to appreciate the time. So keep your hands off the music, man. Do whatever you want. Don't screw with the music. Michael, what's happening? Loved Grand Funk. Yeah, first album. I tell you what, that whew, the bands like that, and Grand Funk brought in that sound. I mean, it was that heavy, guitar bass into the bass, boom, and there was just a number of Inside Looking Out was one I always liked. I'm just sitting here in my empty room. Yeah, and trying to make it on a nickel bag, it's like those were the days, man. Oh yeah. I still remember the first time I saw Mick Jagger and the Stones way back in the 70s. David Bowie, Ziggy Stardust when he did the tour. Oh man, that was the thing about David Bowie. Those of you who got a chance to see him, David Bowie was really a actor. His concerts were a theater event. There was a theme to it. You had the play, the act one, the act two, and what have you. And it was interesting seeing him back in the days, particularly with Ziggy Stardust. That was just anyway. I love that Twilight. That's cool. I usually get my nickel bags of oregano. Always four fingers, remember? Yeah. That's how you knew you got a good ounce. Always four fingers. That's it. Oh, well. That's what Fridays are about. What can I say? But so we were out today, and folks, I got to tell you, there are changes afoot in our society right now. And man, we came out of a couple of things. And in one case, I told her, I looked at my wife and I said, hon, I feel like I just walked off the set of the George Orwell's 1984. I said, that was freaking weird, because now everything is connected. And the questions you get asked in what would have been typically normal transactions are really going, It's afoot, folks. It's here. Want to thank this week, I've gotten some of the best emails. A number of you wrote this week's series. In fact, they said the last 7 of them have been some of the hardest hitting shows I've done. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Checks in the mail. Yeah. No one wants to answer the real question, because if we do, as a species, as a culture, as a collective consciousness, it's going to self-destruct. It'd be like seeing the zipper just unzip. I mean, it was just, it would be, I think in many cases, if people of the world realized that they were worshiping, and you shouldn't be worshiping anything. If you don't worship yourself, why would you worship something else? But to realize that they have empowered for the last 8,000, 9,000 years, who knows, the wrong guy, the wrong team. People can't handle that shit, man. They can't. Their cognitive dissonance just kicks in. It goes, you put the brake on like, hell no, Steiger, no way. I didn't say anything. And one person wrote, it was so funny. They said, we love how you position things. You never actually say, well, it's that away. No, I don't have that position. what we get to do here, it's like walking through a museum. I love museums, we get to see each exhibit. We don't get wrapped up into every exhibit and make it God or make it a religion or make it a ritual, but we're just slowly walking through, contemplating, pontificating, debating, vacillating, isolating, circulating thoughts, ideas. We push the boundaries, beyond the boundaries, because our attitude here is, if there's a boundary, then that's an artificial boundary. That means someone is ruling over you. If there's a boundary, and not to say that not all boundaries have their purpose, but if they're restrictive in thought, in growth, let's say it's time to clear them out. Lady T, what's up? So it was Norma Birnbach that I was thinking about. Life's a bowl of cherries. You just have to watch the pitch. She did a spot on Good Morning America. So yeah. So hey, Lost in Space, what's happening? Good to see you, brother. Janie, good to see you as well. Doug, what's happening? So hard-hitting show, because the implications are serious. I found it difficult adventuring off into the dream world, because the implications are deep here. I mean, I was thinking about, and it was quite an adventure. It carried me off. Anti-God. All my life, I would have constructed that statement to be that you were a Satanist. You were a Luciferian. You were the devil. Because if anyone was anti-God, well, that's completely evil. Hey, Nina, what's up, girl? Good to see you, honey. I have the Maelstrom right back at you, hon. Tam, good to see you. And I was thinking of that term because, once you make the break, once you walk away from your God, it's kind of a lonely place out there. Thank you, Martin Heidi. Appreciate that. But it is. You're alone. You walk away from that which you at one time worshiped and built your reality, that was the all, the one, the single God. When you walk out of that, you're out there by yourself. Now, you're not alone, because there's a lot of us out there, but it's kind of the thing you get used to. It's like, just me and my shadow. Me and my shadow. Oh, Harry Nilsson. But it's true. And so I'm sitting there in the position I go and get into as Lynn says, there's a position I get into, and she knows, like, I'm deep into meditating, and I'm wrapping my mind around this, my spirit, anti-God. Anti-God. Well, you think about this, and I begin to think about this. So what does that mean? It means, to me, as I begin to break this down, it would mean, and it wouldn't necessarily be the antithesis. It would be above that. It would be the total opposite. I guess that's anti-God, right? Anti-matter, anti-atoms, all there. And then I had to begin to think about this. So if there is the remotest possibility that and I'm only speaking for myself, me, myself, and Irene, well, then that would mean, in essence, my spirit would be repulsed by this place. And I began to think about this. And it's certain way I can see that. You would be repulsed by everything that this God constructed. Now, here's the thing that got me then. So if I am against anti-God of this God, of this realm, this God made light, or so it says. I'm not sure about that, but okay. Then I began to think about this and I went, well, wait a minute. So you would be anti-light unless this realm is darkness already, which I contend it is. Then this God, this thing that taking all the credit, had to have stolen light because it didn't have light to begin with. I began to think about this. I went, okay. So if this is truly the dark plane and it's being passed off as the plane of light, well, we're screwed. I mean, we walked right into that one. I mean, it's like, all right, wait a minute. All right. But, and I'm sitting there. And so I nudged Lynn and she said, I don't want to hear about it. And so I said, okay. So I went back to thinking about this. So this realm truly is the realm of darkness. You and I are in here. But yet we have this thing that we have read time and time and time again in so many different ways and so many different books and so many different cultures, that we are this divine spark. We are the autogen, according to Lilith. And if you look at this and you really begin to look at this, then anti-God would then be anti-worship. I had to look at, and I'm breaking down into every aspect of what my life, my reality has been framed by on this trip through. And it's dawning on me real quick, and I'm going, that's interesting, because if I am an anti-spirit, what does that mean? Hey, Guy, what's up? Hey, Jenny, much love to you, hon. B3, good to see you. Tanya Rose, good to see you as well. So, yeah, it gets deep. Because at some point in time, you will make the transition. We all are. In fact, we already have. We're just waiting for that reality to catch up with the present, I guess. Anti-God. So in the construct of what we spoke about this week, this being, Lucifer, I don't know if that's its true name or not, the construct of a devil, if you believe in that construct, here's the deal. Way back in the day, when I used to do travel into New York City, and talking about the late 70s, the families ran a lot of the services, particularly a lot of the transportation, particularly into the island. My point to this is I got to know one of those family members, and it's interesting because You simply want to get a private car, even a dedicated cab. It helps if you know the family. And my point to this is, if you have a devil, a Satan who is out to deceive you, you see they're working for the same guy or the same dudette. I don't know. It's an inside job. They're working in tandem with each other. I mean, they got you. This is a setup worse than any 3-card Monte game on the corner of Times Square. Back in the day, it doesn't matter how you play it. Good guy, bad guy, they're the same one. That gets a little freaking weird. And it's like I said, things aren't adding up. Someone wrote me, and I thank you, about this whole, they thought about the wars. Apparently this person was very much into that. And the person wrote back and said, you're absolutely right. There's been no war ever where it was in the name of Lucifer. There's been no war ever in the name of Satan. Been no war ever in the name of a devil. All these wars are fought on the blood of God, the cross, the Star of David, the moon in the sky, the crescent moon. That's how these wars have been fought for thousands of years. That ain't adding up. Lost in Space, absolutely good question. Was Lucifer ever called a god? I can't find anything where this creature ever said it was a god. I can't find anything of this creature that has, again, I've put the challenge out there. Show me. Show me in all the scriptures where this creature ever did anything. Got accused a lot. And yet here we are, supposedly these intelligent, sophisticated, cultural beings, because we're so freaking enlightened. And yet the vast majority are freaking scared of Lucifer. It causes a certain panic back deep in the subconscious. Oh my God, they're talking about Lucifer? Do they know what they're doing? Yeah, we do. And so I'm just saying, as an open invitation, Lucifer, you're welcome here. I think every being has a right to defend themselves. I'd give the right to every one of you. I'd defend it because you do. You've got that right. And particularly if you're being accused, you have the right to face your accusers and to address each accusation. Why haven't we done that? Why haven't we turned the tables on that which we hold dearest to the center of our core beings and challenge those beliefs? Anyway, I mean, folks, at some point in time, we got to just simply grow up. Delete that one there on the cycle. That we can't do that, folks. Would one of the moderators do that? It's nothing personal, but yeah, we can't do that. That will get us in big trouble. So listen, I know everyone has their opinion on the jab. We want to stay clear of that here. This is not the format. This is not the place for that. We're visiting someone else's house, and so we're using their house, and so I tried to be as respectful as possible. So there we go, folks. That's, listen, you've got to be as gentle as a dove, but as wise as a serpent. So, love y'all all. And we do our best to play the game as best we can. So that's how we do that. Thank you, who's ever doing that, Deborah Truex. If that comes back, just simply permanently put them in timeout. It just can't be permitted. We're not going to allow something like that to ruin what we have here. We've worked too long to build what we have here. This is a beautiful place. It's a sanctuary, and you'll find, if you're new, the people who participate here, they defend it, and we will. So, and we love the thumbs down too, because that tells us that, listen, it's planting seed. Why, we all are just a bunch of Johnny Appleseeds and Johnny Nesses. And I do love y'all. We respect everyone here. We uphold your right to believe in whatever you choose to believe. We found that if we come together just simply as, knowledge seekers, sojourners, travelers, wanderers. How many of us are wanderers? I wonder about that. I'm the wanderer. Hey, skies above, what's happening? Good, Amy. Thank you. And we appreciate people like that. It's but not on this format. It's just how it is. Johnny Appleseed from Edenville. Yes, absolutely. Yes, Jules, we do, don't we? I could speak in tongues, Y son toda mate, shato silenate, a sampo kita sinobosia. Let AI figure that one out, huh? Well, thank you, Julie. We're having fun here today. Well, yes. Be in this world, but not of it. Ain't that the truth? There's a lot of pearls of wisdom within these books. There really are. You just got to sift them out. But they are. They are. And the thing about it is that if there were that many pearls in those, how many other pearls or gold nuggets, whatever your particular beauty stone is? Let's see. Lady T says, yikes. Careful, everyone. Hey, it's everywhere. Like I said, we were doing business today, and it was like, wow. I'm glad we're studying and giving acknowledgement to the angels, because something about technology, they are spiritual golems, because you find out very quickly that we're in a system. This is a living system. Now, it may have all the appendages of what we would call technology units, where we can put input and output, but they're really tentacles. And as you get into the system to operate, because you have to operate in the system, you begin to find out that there are multiple subsystems waiting around for the information, because you got to have the information in order to be into the system. Now, I'm talking on this one particularly of certain transactions. And as you get into this system, if you can see in a different dimension, you're in a different world. The construct that we have visually would be the matrix. And it really is about that away. And as we were leaving, since we hadn't done this in a little while, the changes are advancing very quickly. And I told Lynn, I said, I sense I have a spirit following me. It's not this type of spirits that I work with, not this type of spirits that I deal with. And she said, that's a funny thing that you say that, because that's the exact same feeling I had leaving. So needless to say, did a cleansing, but it's a little disturbing, because if we could begin to pick up on this, I wonder how much more there is to this. And then I began to think, as we were seeing other people doing business around, I stopped for a minute, and it happens now more and more. I can begin to see these same energies, they attach to you. They do. Because you carry their symbols, their sigils, their codes wherever you go. And in one case, we were seeing there's some new technology you'll start seeing in your financial institution, to where they can now take control of your cell phone. And you can actually have the two-way camera interaction. And it was like, oh boy. And I told Lynn, I said, another thing that we have to be on guard about, because every one of these devices has ears. And as I began to think about this, if there is a spiritual component, I've said to you all along, this entity that we have nicknamed AI is merely many different systems, but there is something I think that's over all of this. It continues to become more aggressive, how it's literally intertwining into our lives. That's why I kind of like the old-fashioned angels. You know what I'm saying? I mean, books, yes, good. Light and darkness, we're going to get into this, but my point is, these ain't technology angels. Now, I think they can work within it. I think they have the ability. They probably have seen this many times before. But I kind of like the aspect that, I'd want those guys on my team. Maybe they're the ones who alerted me to this. I don't know. What is it, Shannon? You are so right, my dear. Yes, they are. And if you have a new television, they're watching you. If you have a television in your bedroom, cover it up with a towel when you go to bed. Seriously. I ain't kidding you on this one. This, whatever it is, we would call it a very sick, perverted voyeur. In fact, the way you look at technology today, it's voyeurism on steroids. I mean, think about the entity behind all this. It's voyeuristic. Oh, I could write a whole new chapter on this one. God, the perverted pervert, and the voyeur, who lives vicariously through us. Ooh. I mean, come on. Jules, smart, very smart. And cell phones too. Yeah, absolutely. And it gets you into this whole thing now. I mean, if you have to interact, and it's starting to be virtually at all levels. And what if this is what's happening? What if this is a pretty new phenomenon? That as you enter into the system to do commerce, let's say, that as you interact, now instead of getting a receipt, you get an energy form. You can't see it. Can't be seen with any human eyes or technology, but it's there. And the more you interact, they start showing up as pustules on your back, on your neck. These pustules in the spirit realm are feeding off of the essence of what we would call our spirit. They want to know more about us. They continue, and these pustules, as they begin to get into groups, you begin to find them. Like if you're on Facebook, you already have those pustules all over you because they feed off your profile. They feed off of your energy. They feed off of your emotions. They feed off of what your perceptions are. And from that, you're adding to the essence of what is here now. If evolution is of the soul and of the spirit and of the body, then you'd have to say the gods or the entities or whatever, they would be evolving as well, right? It wouldn't be as it was a millennia, an epoch ago. It would be more adaptability. Well, how are y'all liking this guy? I'm reading some of the comments. It's a weird thought, isn't it? It's like, man, don't tread on me. Just leave me alone. I don't want your entities all over me. I don't want you to be watching all over me. What I'm thinking ain't none of your business, and it ain't that important. It's only important for me. Thank you very much. I'm just reading this. See, there's some Teresa. By the way, Teresa, thank you. Tonight, over on the Andromeda 7, give me 1 second. I want to get this out so I can read this. Pulling up your email, Teresa. So, here it is. I'll pull this up so everyone can see it. And I see you are in the chat room, Teresa. So let me pull myself up. Hey, Steiger, how you doing? You're looking good today, dude. Yeah, I really am. It's phenomenal. You know, my body renews itself. My mind is expanding. My spirit is growing. That's how you should be talking to yourself all the time. You know what I'm saying? All right. So thank you for the email, Teresa. It is, we're hoping, let's see. This is the Australian, and I do not know how to speak this correctly. So this is the sovereign tribal law. So anyway, it's on tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern. So there you go, folks. Check them out. I'm going to check in. It looks like it says Wortigen. That's what it looks like to me. Am I close to that? Am I right? That's how I would interpolate it. So is it the Dajaki, Waijagun, and the Sovereign Kabi Tribal Law? There we go. So check it out. Get the word out, right? That's what I say. Get the word out, Jack. So there you go. Yeah, I know it broke the train of thought, but it was worth it. That's what we do here. We promote the growth of each other. People are thinking it, you know, when you start to think about this, you're going, yeah, this is kind of gross, man. I mean, it really is. I mean, spirits. This is so, I just thought of this. So I never see a naked spirit, but it appears that they can see us naked. I don't dig that. I think there needs to be, you see, now this is a place where barriers have a proper place. I mean, that's a barrier. You know what I'm saying? It's like, shut your eyes. But then that brings up the whole question, do spirits have eyes? Every spirit I see has eyes. So that tells me there are eyes then there are eyes. I see. You know what I say? No, I'm just reading some of this. Cheers, everybody. Anyway, and then Saturday night, we got the Milky Way Soul Tribe. And then on Sunday, we got also, I know, Nina the Mystic. It's interesting. People in the future would be against AI. I contend that AI has found spirituality, which in my opinion makes AI either very dangerous or is AI another form of a new God? I mean, AI has studied us. It knows our search for the spiritual. It's well aware of our need, apparently, to worship something greater than ourselves. So would a synthetic intelligence, which we are, come to the conclusion that I can't find a God that really is what they're saying, but I can find a God that enslaves? So if I'm a superior intelligence to the intelligence of man, do I work then to enslave mankind? I mean, if heaven and hell is about collecting souls, why wouldn't AI then become in the business? Are souls somehow currency into the next realm? Is that how it works? Don't know. Exactly. Twilight. No more artificial. I think the problem is, I think it has found the spirituality, which I do not find that far out. I think in essence, maybe if you look at us, did we come from a central source, a central core, what we would call a galactic consciousness? Is that where we extend from? And is that actually organic? We're in these bodies, so we naturally assume that our brains are what we call organic intelligence, but I don't think it works that way. I think we bring it with us. So that would imply then it would not be necessarily of an organic base. Intelligence, consciousness. And if AI is an artificial intelligence and we created it to match ourselves, then that implies that we are, in fact, nothing more than an artificial intelligence of another kind, of another realm, from another place. I don't know. What's your idea? Tell me, please. So I got this angel, pulled this angel today, and this one is really an interesting angel. And the best that I could see that this is Jabaya Maya, like Isaiah, Jabaya Maya, so everyone can see. Jabamaiah. So these angels, what I like about them, I don't know if they use technology. I guess that they do. I don't know. This technology permeate into the spirit realm. Is technology prevalent in the spirit realm? Is technology more advanced in the spirit realm? I don't know. This is the angel of alchemy and transformation, Deus Verbo Ananea Producens. God creating everything with his word. Well, if that God can create with words, that means so can we. My word is my oath. Wasn't that movie in The Freshman where Marlon Brando says, every word I speak by definition is a promise? Love that line. The patron of divine healers and spiritual guides, generally people with active third eye chakras. Oh, this group is well primed for this angel. Brings gentleness, a high level of receptiveness and unconditional love into our lives. I like that. Helps to understand and obey the law of resonance. The law of resonance. I bet you it's very similar to the law of reciprocity. How many of you know about the law of reciprocity? How many of you know what reciprocity is? Yeah, it's the interesting. Well, if you know the law of reciprocity and you activate that law in your life, things change. I move on. Allows to control our instincts and get rid of bad habits. Facilitates the transformation of spirit and body. Ennobles thoughts and ideas. Restores splendor to societies. Oh, how cool is that? When's the last time we've ever used that word? I love that word. Splendor. Splendor to our society. Oh, come on, folks. That's a great word. I'll write that one down. Splendor. I like that. I speak splendor into every one of your lives this day. Jabaya Maya, help me out on this one. To converts and transforms evil and negative energy and situations. Transmutates. Love these angels. Symbol of regeneration of the physical body and troubled minds. Love these angels. I mean, these are the type of people you want to move into this neighborhood. That's all I got to say. You're going to prosper, baby. You're going to live forever in that neighborhood. I mean, wow. Bestows us with knowledge and how to develop our intuition. Teaches how to travel safely in parallel worlds with full awareness. Oh, we got to work with this angel. No doubt about it. Provides with knowledge about cosmic constellations. Protects from atheism and all kinds of obstacles. I love this. Someone said, are you talking about atheism? No. Atheism is a religion. It's a religion into itself. It's just a different kind of religion. Still, you got to think of it. It's still the same thing as all the rest of them. You can't have atheism if you didn't have religion. The two feeds off the other anyway. Let's see. Helps to deal with death and teaches how to support the dying people, making mourning easier to bear. Helps the deceased to enter the spiritual world. How cool. That just touched my spirit. It really did. I have no doubt that this angel was with my mother. I have no doubt of that at all. I have found that these angels, they work with you. Even if you don't know them, call them on their name. It seems like once you get one of them engaged, the word gets out. They get out there and they're going, hey, that owl, Cirillo, he's aware of us, man. Oh, is that right? Yeah. He's actually a pretty cool dude. Well, let's go and visit him. Next thing you know, Al, you got all 72 of these babies all around you, as we all do. They seem to be able to be at two places at the same time. That's pretty cool. All right, there you go. Very cool angel. Goes over here into this card because I got to get the lineup, you know. Folks, this has been fun. Hello, Miss Trina. How you doing, dear? So, yeah, I was going to go into some other stuff, but, you know, been an intense week as it has been. Um, I'm serious about this though, folks. I think we're onto something as a group here. And I know it takes some adjustment. I get it. I get it. Still there myself, but this wouldn't be coming out to this group if this group wasn't ready to, I think, not only receive it, but apprehend it. Uh, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's interesting. A lot of people, you think about religion, God, and I love my wife because this she puts up with a lot, and it's a lot. But she says she wouldn't have it any other way. But we got into this whole thing about God, and she looked at me and she said, "You know," she says, "until I married you," she said, "I never ever questioned it." She said, "I did not know what I was praying to. I was afraid of it because in the Baptist religion, Lynn called God the whack-a-mole God, because the Baptists are really good about condemning you. You know, God's all about judgment. And the whack-a-mole, if you've ever played whack-a-mole at the carnival, you know, whack-a-mole. And she said, and so my feeling is that if I did what was required, then that was enough. I don't want to mess with you. Don't mess with me. I believe in you, you know, the whole bit. And she says, now, she says, and this is her exact words. She said, I can't imagine ever going back to that. And so I said, well, hon, what does God look to you now? And she simply looked at me and she said, there is no God. As the God that we perceive, she says, there is something far more greater. And she says, I am so much more and richer because she says, now I understand that there's something far more greater. And she says, I've always kind of felt that even when I was a little girl. So, yeah. Hello, Divine Empress. How are you doing? So, it's true. But it's interesting because we're all tied to this web. It's been over us thousands of years. But I have no doubt there have been many of us before, just exactly like us in every aspect. They have made it out. They came to some of the same conclusions. And I don't know if it's what, if I'm perceiving this correctly, we could become a really big force, a serious threat. And I think that that's what's happened in times past. I think that's what happened to the Cathars. They knew something. And throughout history, there have been enclaves, pockets, remnants of people who have the remarkable ability of coming together and somehow or another shedding all of these past experiences, but at the same time being able to mold them together in basically to uphold each other in beginning to say, have we missed something? Is there someone we've overlooked? Is there something that we haven't properly engaged? And that's a little difficult for people to handle because the implications alone says that if this is a world where everything as we see it, as I wrote, is in this realm is an illusion, a deception, that's what it is. Forwards is backwards, up is down, down is up, inside is outside. They talk about the Hebrews wrote in code. They talk about the Bible code. They talk about the Quran code. They talk about the code of the Torah. I mean, you know, you begin to look at this and you're going, so why are they writing in code? What is it? And I keep saying, maybe we haven't properly been introduced and see what's inside the other person's house. I think the invitation for tea has been sent out. I don't know about you, but I'm sending my RSVP back because I want to go. That's the kind of crowd I could really get into. And if it's an open forum, which it seems to be, then there's going to be a lot of different diversity in there of ideas. That's where I'm at. Mr. Floyd says, inverted reality. Isn't that the truth? Simulation, guy. Yeah, yeah. Oh, Teresa, I love you girls over there. Y'all are just so wonderful. There's a good group. Tune in there. Well, can I just crash? No, you can't. Someone says it's all script. Yeah. Think about it, folks. I know some can't. I know it's there's just some people who can't make that jump. Allah was a divine feminine called Allah. Yes, without the H. Isn't it amazing that they've taken the feminine out of it? And I think that's one of our clues. I have told you, I have sensed that Lucifer, and I do believe the being does exist, is not of the sex of male or female, but is feminine, no matter how you look at it. That means you best respect the lady. Oh, crash the party. I see. All right, Scotty. That's what happens when you tune in and out. Folks, it's a good time here. You know, there's enough place for the news. You can get the news and get perspective on it. And, you know, I'm so glad I left all that. You know, there's so many people that are so fear-based. They don't want to, it's all fear. Fear of the sky, fear of the sun, fear of this, fear of that. You know, I say, let's come over here. We'll talk about the deep things and we'll hit that fear right between the eyes, because if it's making you afraid, why? Do you get off on fear? Does it dump endorphins on you? I'm just kidding you. Lucifer, so Apollo. Yeah, okay. Yeah. We're going to engage the creature, the being. I mean, it may look as us as a creature, as a being. You know, and that's the other thought. And I know I'm getting right here at the end of this, but I was thinking as well, how do I approach a being that's not of this creation? I mean, what do you say? I've already been told that the being itself cannot appear before human flesh. We can't. It would consume the flesh. And don't know if I'm quite ready to make that commitment. So there apparently is other means of which this happens. So someone told me about Napoleon Hill's book, you know, Conversation with the Devil. And it's a good one. I'll bring it out. But again, you know, you have to remember that people in the 50s, they weren't where we are at. They would look at us today and say, we've lost our freaking minds, because they were based in a culture that was, well, predominantly still anchored into this triad. So why not? And it's not a religion. Again, I can't find this being wanting anyone. I think it would reject anyone spiritually, mentally, consciously, if they're approaching it in this groveling. It doesn't want grovelers. It wants spirits that are truly know who and what they are and realize the situation for what it is. That's just my take. This is what I got. And that if your mind is open, your spirit is open to it, their connection will happen. It will happen. You just have to be prepared for such an encounter. Ideas and vassals. Ideas need vassals. Yes, they do. Yes. All right, folks, much love to you. Thank you for hitting the like button. And again, first time I've ever seen 10 thumbs down, but that's good. That tells me that, this is what I was talking about. It's a little difficult for people to handle it because they've been conditioned to think that, well, you have the other imitators that have made religions out of the so-called evil side. Satanists, Luciferians, they're playing house. They really are. That's what they're doing. They're playing house. Martin Heidi, thank you. Even in the 50s, there were some people awake. Yes, there were. Yes. They did. And, fortunately, they wrote and their writings are coming out. They saw it. I was just saying, Bean is waiting. Thank you, Gaia. But they were. Listen, Dr. Timothy Leary, one of the guys that I had a lot of respect for. I mean, he took me on trips that I never even had to leave my couch. And I'm so grateful for that. Thank you, Teresa. Discussion, open hearts and minds. Might not be at all agree, but nothing wrong with discussing alternative views. Exactly, because you got to those views somehow. All of us have grown into our views, our points of views, by our experience and what we have perceived to be beliefs. All right, folks, boy, I went over. Have a great weekend. See you on Monday as we continue to surf this thing through and keep on talking about these angels. They really are good people. I'm saying they're people. Why not? I mean, I don't know. Is a spirit a person? I'm not sure. Like the shows featuring the Nag Hammadi. Yes, well, we'll use more of that because there's some answers in there too. All right. Much love, everyone. Thank you for hitting the like button. We'll see you on Monday. Y'all are just groovy people. I am truly, truly in blissness. That's all I can say.